we're bringing some, exciting possibilities. You see, the question of intelligence has been around since the very early days of human civilization, ever since there were humans, really. What? Who are we? What is intelligence? Well, I don't know if you know. This French philosopher Descartes, he proposed the idea of, I think, in the 17th century. Therefore, I am. In fact, since that time and before, philosophers have begun to think about what thinking is, what existence is, and what being is. Artificial intelligence hasn't been around long. Human history goes back thousands of years. But artificial intelligence has only been around for about 60 years. One of the foundational figures in early artificial intelligence is Alan Turing. Turing was a mathematician, and decades ago, he started thinking about how to create a thinking machine. He famously said, to build intelligent machines. Now, what does he mean by that? He believed that for a machine to be intelligent, it needs two important elements. One of these elements is sensing. We can see that vision is the largest human sensory system. Humans have other sensory systems, and machines can have other sensory systems. It may be best to provide the machine with the best sense organs that money can buy, and to teach it to understand and speak English. What he's saying in that statement is that for something to be intelligent, it seems to require two particularly important elements. One of these elements is sensing, which we can see is the largest sensory system in humans' vision. Humans have other sensory systems as well, and machines can have other sensory systems too, but vision is the most significant one. The second part is understanding and inferring the meaning. Language is basically the most special ability of human beings, and most people have it. I agree that animals don't have this capability, so Turing was far from building artificial intelligence in this field, but he introduced some of the initial important ideas. What I'm saying is that to create a thinking machine, it needs to include vision and language. After Turing, there was a scientist who, I reckon, many of you here might not have heard of. In other words, to create a thinking machine, it needs to include vision and language. After Turing, there was this scientist that I reckon many of you here might not have heard of. But he is actually a giant in the field of computer science. He was one of the first batch of PhD students studying artificial intelligence at MIT alongside Marvin Minsky. Later, he came to Stanford to become a professor, and his name is Terry Winograd. Terry is one of the first generation in the field of artificial intelligence to operationalize Turing's ideas. He's also one of the greatest computer scientists alive today. Not only did he do some of the most important work in artificial intelligence, but he later switched fields to focus on human-computer interaction. Human-computer interaction has also revived this field. And the most interesting thing is, first, he looks like Einstein. Many people say he looks like Einstein. Second, he is my neighbor. At this point, we were standing in front of our houses, my home behind me and his behind him. So, living next to such a towering figure, this esteemed old professor, I've always felt quite fortunate. What did Terry bring to the table? Terry took the concept of artificial intelligence and figured out how to build an intelligent machine, operationalizing it into a practical state. He said that a person or a machine needs to understand the world. So, for that, it needs to perceive the world. And the first thing it needs to do after perceiving is to understand the structure of the world, which is called syntax understanding. Syntax, in Chinese, is referred to as, in the field of natural language processing, in the realm of computer vision, it might be called three-dimensional structure. That's what he said.